There we go. Let me suggest adding a pass key to your account. No thanks, Obama. I won't be doing any of that. Alright, so I can't believe it's day 17 already. We need to get 4 more chapters if you want to have 2 every day, and it just becomes harder with every passing day. So, day 17 of editing. Out of like an entire month. Ugh. Yeah, too much skipping. I tell you the truth. We really need to get a little bit more on top of it. If people turn up to watch the edit, I will talk about some of the stuff. But I want to, for everybody viewing at home, I want to show you our new swear jar. And I believe, if I am correct, that currently I owe $30 to the American Leukemia Foundation. Let's make it happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's a Susan B. Anthony. Let's see, I need 8 more. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. I'm just going to leave one sitting right here. So that's $30 that's going to the American Leukemia Foundation. Let's just set this right over here where it's easily accessible. And I'm a man of my word. I will pay up that money. All right, so we're at chapter 31. And I think 31 is kind of like rules dense and so forth. Not quite on top of my game yet. I need to wake up a little bit. The editor is in. That's such a terrible editor. Really and truly. But I have to say, we are getting a little stronger as this progresses, so there's something to it. All right, let me see. Any of the usual suspects that enjoy editing are up in there. Let me see, who's upset with me? Na, 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 na. All right, so checking over the chat, I see a free Puffy message. And then day 17 begins. There we go. Yeah. All right, my eyes are almost working. Let me get some coffee in me. Yeah, so for those who are not schooled in the way that I make coffee there, um, I usually try to buy beans from Anodyne Coffee. They're out of Detroit or somewhere in Wisconsin. Maybe it's Detroit. Um, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in Wisconsin. So they do like a pretty good blend. I have to buy their beans like 5 pounds at a time. And then I have like one of those giant Yama drip towers. So that drips for like a whole day. And then, yeah, like I like to drink cold brew. So I just put it in a pitcher and refrigerate it. Highly fancy. And then I tried like a lot of other coffees in general. But I just wind up drinking Starbucks like 90% of the time because they're open at 5 a.m. when I want to go out and write. But here at home, I drink my own blend. Today, it's not so good. Like I'm close to the bottom of the bag. I got to tell you, I'm not a huge fan of buying coffee 5 pounds at a time because it just gets a little bit like oxidized or whatever you want to call it there. So definitely, like the bottom of the bag is not as good as the top of the bag. I would like to buy it 1 pound at a time, but they sell it 12 ounces at a time, and thus the eternal struggle. Let's begin. Chapter 31: Blitz Day. Blitz Day had finally arrived. No rankings or generals would be exchanged. The event was all about short scenarios, variant rules, bonus loot, and bragging rights. Duncan had explained it was supposed to be a relaxing break. No, you don't know me. Duncan had explained it was supposed to be a relaxing break before the next phase of the campaign. Robin had been waiting for this all week. He overslept and woke to Una barking that he had 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. All right, hold on. I gotta blow my nose. It's crazy. Ugh. I gotta tell you, boys, really and truly, congestion was the worst invention. I don't know who came up with that, but they ought to throw it right back. It sucks, especially when you got to read for like 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours straight. But we don't get to choose which way the wind blows, or neither the way my nose blows. Robin had been waiting for this all week. He overslept and woke to Una barking that he had 10 minutes to shower and eat. Robin shut his eyes tight. His head pounded, and he almost told Una he didn't want to go. It was his own fault. He'd gotten so riled up recounting the adventure. He'd gotten so riled up recounting the adventure last night that he couldn't sleep afterward. Ideas coursed through his head. Each seed seemed to branch into 1,000 new stories. Just as he was almost asleep, a new idea seemed to bloom, and he had to flick on the flashlight. So we have two instances of each. Every seed seemed to branch into 1,000 new stories. Each time he was almost asleep, a new idea would bloom. He had to flick on the flashlight and jot it in his journal. His dreams were full of traps and dragons. His morning was a mess. Una caught him at the door and sent him back. He had on 2 differently colored socks. In the car, he clenched his jaw to keep from drifting off. If he fell asleep, Tito would drive him right back home. ¿Estás bien? Are you all right? Just sleepy. I'll rally, Robin promised. The war room lights seemed twice as bright as normal. Greeting the gang, Robin saw he wasn't the only one stuck in first gear. Duncan was thick-tongued and stumbling as he tried to organize the matches. Sandy was sucking coffee from a giant styrofoam 7-Eleven cup. Chuck had on the same clothes from yesterday. Vlad was red-eyed and grumpy, which wasn't much of a change. Still, each of the 4 had a private smile for Robin when he arrived. The morning hurt, but it was worth it. They'd all been part of something great. The games began. The games began. Robin's first match was with Sandy Amsler. Sandy had already polished off his giant coffee and caught his second wind. Robin was still waiting for his. Robin was still waiting for his own. He kept making dumb mistakes. Fortunately, Sandy was in a good mood. He warned Robin before he... He warned Robin about a big blunder in deployment, and didn't seem to mind it took longer than normal to think things through. Oh, there we go. Big logic. What's going on? But do you see our new swear jar? I'm using the coins from Rapasaurus. So, 30 coins up in there. And each time you catch me cursing, there's more coins that could go up in there. So, mind it or didn't seem... Hold on. So, Sandy is the subject of this. He warned Robin about a big blunder in deployment. And didn't seem to mind. Alright, so I haven't rebooted this machine in like a week, and like the text cursor is slow. And I just want to say, there is no reason for a text cursor to ever be slow. Like, the amount of processing power that it takes to render this cursor on the screen and move it around, literally we have had this technology like ironclad since the 80s. So there's absolutely no reason to have lag in a web browser or whatever. Although I guess Chrome wants to update. Well, too bad, Chrome. You're gonna have to live with it. All right, let's try this. So this paragraph is all about painting Sandy Amsler. And yo, what's up, Xochitl? What's going on? Yeah, I want to chat with you guys about some ideas I have. So I want to make like an Instagram reel to promote the edit, and I'm going to get into the thing. And I thought I would just make like a super cut of all the times where I'm caught cursing and have to put money in the jar. I like that bit the best. AI and H1B. Oof, I don't want to deal with any of that. No, I don't. I don't think. Well, there's definitely like a lot of H1B happening in Google's browser stack, but some of this is like a Windows problem too, which is also significantly H1B. I wonder how net beneficial that program was, like or how net detrimental. I would love to see like some hard science on the impact of H1Bs in the development of technologies versus like the very few high-end tech companies that did not do that, because it's a big deal. All right, the games began. So if I'm gonna make a reel, I have to shave and like nice up and I don't want to do any of that. I do need to rearrange this editing station. It's not good. I think I'm gonna move this back table up a little bit. And is this table skinnier than that one? Yeah. Wait, can I even do that? No, I cannot. There are pillars. Yeah, living in a hovel does not make it easy to do streams. I always hoped that I would get super famous off of one of these gimmicks, so that I could just move out to some godforsaken state in the middle of Maine and just have a giant barn to stream in. But not so far. Let's get this paragraph together. So this is a chapter where there is a lot of detail and there's a lot of rules and stuff like that. So it's more important than normal that we really get all the everything tight. This is boring to people. Robin was still waiting for his own. He kept making dumb mistakes. Fortunately, Sandy was in a good mood. He caught a big blunder in Robin's deployment and warned him about it. Sandy didn't seem to mind that it was taking Robin longer than normal to think things through. It helped a lot that he was being cool. So I like this because you have like a nice rhyme between think things through and being so cool. Sandy didn't seem to mind that it was taking Robin longer than normal to think things through. It helped a lot that he was being so cool. Robin finally started to get into the game. The scenario was an awesome tie-in to their adventures game. Sandy was playing as its defeated Reavers, now turned traitor, and led by Duke Yamone. On a striking battlefield of snow-covered evergreens and red-orange ridges, Robin's objective was to reach Splinterback Bridge. If his dwarven engineers could hold it for a turn, they could blow it up and stop Mm-hmm. Ooh, I don't even know if that comma should be there. Let's say no. If his dwarven engineers could hold it for a turn, they could blow it up and stop Yamone's advance across the hinterlands. Sandy needed to either cross the bridge or capture 3 soldiers so he could torture them to learn Ureg's whereabouts. Comma. Sandy needed to either cross the bridge or capture 3 soldiers so he could torture them to learn Ureg's whereabouts. There were 2 bonuses, a small one for each troop Sandy could corrupt, and a huge one if Robin could slay the Duke. Sandy surprised Robin with a few sharp moves and built an early point lead. Robin countered desperately, feeling like he was always a step behind. On turn 4, Robin realized he could win the next turn On turn 4, Robin realized he could win the entire game next turn by engaging with his shield bearers so his halberdiers could use double time to reach the bridge. But Duke Yimon was right in the open, begging to be charged. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that is indeed a colon. Let's get to that leaderboard, son. You got some ground to make up here. Believe it, y'all. Alright, there we go. I don't need backlighting on my keyboard. I don't know why that's there. Alright. Let's see here. Oh, let me refresh this thing too. It's possible that people have sent in dough. Nope, same amount of bread. $150 we've raised so far. I need to get a little bit more action going on the stream if we want to reach our goal. Sandy surprised Robin with a few sharp moves and built an early point lead. Robin countered desperately, feeling like he was always a step behind. On turn 4, Robin realized he could win the entire game by engaging with his shield bearers. So that his halberdiers could use double time to reach the bridge. But Duke Yimon was right in the open, begging to be charged. Hungry for the bonus, Robin sent in his footmen. The veteran Imperial halberdiers fought with well-trained precision and rolled 10 hits. Just chatting or... Oh, is there a writing and reading category on Twitch? Hold up. You know what? Hold up. I got it sewed up. Category... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely change that one up. Alright. Oh, we're not online on Kick. Oh, wait, we're actually probably online. It's just doing this thing where the channels don't actually... There we go. So we're streaming on Kick and so forth. Here, let's take a look on Twitch and see if that's successfully updated. No, you don't know me. Oh, yeah. That's a great suggestion. I didn't know that they added a writing and reading category there. Here, let's see who else is in writing and reading right now. Oh, some of these guys are pulling 45, 50 viewers. This bald-headed dude has 50 people? All right, hold on. Sort by viewers, high to low. Who's number 1 here? A French lady, mini chat books, or whatever. This was on TV. Writing my book, Spider-Man 2 later. Oh, I can get into this. Yeah, I can defeat these people. Well, now that there's a category, like, we just have to take control of the category. Having 80 viewers every morning would be super solid. Alright, I can do this. Yeah, it's kind of nebulous in just chatting, because I can't compete there. But if we have our own category, it's on like the Quran. Alright, thank you for telling me about that. Because just, like, having something to aim at is so important. And so, as for this paragraph, I will tell you, it's like, this chapter in particular was flagged as, like, being very dense with, like, rules and nerd stuff. So we'll see what we can do with it. Yeah, I can defeat these people? Jeez. Although I don't have, aim at doing what you enjoy. All else either happens in time or not. Either way, you are having fun. No, I have a lot more fun when I'm competing with and defeating people. Like, a lot more. Like, already I can just feel my adrenaline start to race there. I've been playing a lot of Quad Radius lately. I think I lost 3 matches in a row yesterday, but I jumped up to whatever. Quad Radius is amazing. Truly is like the greatest game of all time. But only a select few can get into it there. Like most people, they try... I don't know what it is about games that I like, but I recommend them to my friends and so forth, and they try them, and they're like, I can't understand why you like this. and then they can't play with me because I'll just crush them. And you know, like I can lay down for a few games and try to get them the hand, but they don't have that same killer instinct to win, 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 win. But then there's a lot of games that like heavy duty board games and stuff that my friends play where I'm you know, I'm the same like minnow in their Shark Tank there, where they're just monsters at the game, and you really got to like stretch. You can literally feel your brain burning because you're thinking so hard to try and keep up with these people. Speaking of which, this chapter has a lot to say about that. The veteran Imperial Halberdiers fought with well-trained precision and rolled 10 hits. Alas, not one wounded the Duke. Yamon was in the full flush of the bladed lady's favor. He made save after save, and his vicious counterattack cut the halberdiers to shreds. With no champion to steady them, the wounded Imperials failed their morale check and succumbed to the poisonous allure of Chaos Manifest. I like that one. The dwarves abandoned their feckless allies and tried to reach the bridge, but time ran out. Sandy was triumphant and won the maximum bonus. Oof. It was good to see Sandy win for once. I don't know. I thought I turned off this backlight. There we go. It was good to see Sandy win for once. I kind of feel it was good to see. No, we can't have 4 commas in. It was good to see Sandy win for once, but no fun to be the victim, especially with loot at stake. Robin thought he hit it well, but Sandy could tell. You all right, bud? Sandy asked quietly as he offered a post-game shake. Robin swallowed the urge to slap his hand away. Martillos don't do that. You take your loss like a man. Ooh, so is Una's voice coming through. All good. Can't win them all. Congrats. Robin assured him. You almost had me. Next time, Sandy smiled. The aspirin wasn't working. During the break, Robin went to the bathroom and took 2 more. He never took pills in front of the guys. He didn't want to answer any questions. This is a comma splice. When he came out, a nightmare was waiting. Duncan had brought out a brand new army, the Arcane Beasts. The paint was barely dry on his models. The paint was barely dry on his models because the army wasn't even officially released yet. The Arcane Knights wore glittering runic mail and rode on armored hippogriffs. Their footmen were ethereal beings made from transparent plastic. Reception from the club was mixed. Some thought they looked cool. And this is another colon. Reception from the club was mixed. Some thought they looked cool. Others thought they looked too much like toys and they'd be hard to paint. The game took place in a ravine between 2 shattered watchtowers. Eager to avoid a repeat of his first match, Robin deployed his force aggressively and focused hard on the objective. His position seemed good, but the ethereal beings were almost impossible to hit without a magician, and they could maneuver right through units. The Arcane Knights had outrageous stats. Everyone was watching, eager to see the new army. Robin couldn't score a single victory point. Welcome to New Army Power Creep, Sandy rued. He and Chuck shook their heads in sympathy. They weren't alone. The whole club seemed to agree that Arcane was completely OP. So I actually had to research the incidence of OP for overpowered. And it turned out in like 1979, people were already using OP. Wait, let me just verify that that's true. Yeah, I'm trying to. I know I did some research on this. Yeah, I think it might have had a first appeared in gaming communities in the 90s. I don't trust you. Early days of internet forums as OP's original poster. I think I did Google Ngrams on this. You know what? Here's the thing. Like I remember finding a source that showed people were using this, like either in sports or something else, like way back in the day. But I think enough people are gonna overpowered since 80s AD&D. Yeah. Well, yeah. So here's the thing. We don't lose anything by writing overpowered here or having power creep, right? Because those are like spelled out terms. I think if we say OP, some people are going to be like, well, that didn't happen in 1979. And I couldn't find, it's difficult too, because like OP is used for like many different things. So Ngram Viewer is useless for it. I would really have to go get testimony from like 4 or 5 people who were like alive in 1979 who could say like, yes, we use this term. Um, and then you run into like the kind of issue that memory is frangible. Memory is difficult, especially when you're thinking about something where there's not like a record or whatever there. So the ideal would be to like go through magazines at that point. And the other problem is that OP at that point wouldn't be something that would necessarily be used in publication. It's more of like a slang parlance or whatever. So I don't know the research to find or the resource to determine when exactly this became a deal. But we can also just sidestep it by just using the full word. They weren't alone. The whole club seemed to agree that Arcane was completely overpowered. Vlad had watched the match very closely. At one point, Duncan nodded at Robin and winked. The Heartbroken Brigade's crushing defeat had probably just sold a boatload of models. The Heartbroken Brigade's crushing defeat would help him sell a boatload of models. So I do like that we work into the story the kind of like economic and like impacts of the gaming thing because this really is kids like saving up all their lunch money to buy little toys. And like Vlad has this vending machine route and stuff. So I like that we get into like the industry part of it there. It's just like a cool thing to include. There were 2 more games left. The next was a grudge match against Jeremy's cohort of chaos. As promised, JC had not forgotten his Riffmaster's humiliation during the miracle at Macamill. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I think that's how we spelled it. He stayed locked in all match. Jeremy sat up straight, watched every roll, and didn't even eat candy while they played. Robin followed suit and thought through each move with intense focus. It felt more like a chess match than a war game. There were no crazy rolls this time, just a tense battle where the lead passed back and forth several times. And then I wonder about power creep. Power creep I'm okay with, right? Power creep is associated with Magic the Gathering, which is happening after this, but um, it's also existed in every game that kind of has like that episodic format. I don't think it's going to throw like what I'm trying to avoid as a reader looking at a term and then being like, hey, that didn't exist back in the day. The power creep is so close, like it's not. There's no leap in your mind to understand what's happening. It would make sense to somebody completely divorced from the hobby or industry or whatever there. Whereas OP is an abbreviation, and a reader has to like wonder, oh, OP, what does that mean, right? And then they make the next leap to be like, okay, I know that that means overpowered, but it's like, wait, did people know that in 1970? So it's like, how many leaps does the person have to make to get there? And that's why like we made that particular choice there. But I hear you. It's a good chance that hold on, let's see. Let's go back to engrams here. So yeah, so OP since 1880 has been much more popular, but I think it has a lot of things that it can potentially stand for. Uh, and so power creep, actually power creep is very popular in 1971 and actually is in decline by the time that we get to 1977. So this is definitely a term that we can get away with. I wonder why was the term power creep. There must have been, so it's in 1970. This has to be something with, this has to be tied into the Soviet Union in some way, shape, or form. All right, so AI thinks that it wasn't popular back then, but Ngram doesn't lie. Ngram is like an index of every publication that Google has access to. Um, Presumably comes from mission creep. Yeah, this is definitely something that was popular in the Cold War, and like probably somewhere on my shelf is one of the books where the term power creep rolled in. But again, like I'm satisfied with like leaving it in the story. If the editor flags it, we'll have a fight about it. But Wraithwood Blight was an assault scenario. Robin's army had to Robin's army had to run through a gauntlet of abominations and a living briar to halt a profane ritual. Robin's army needed to run through a gauntlet of abominations and a living briar to halt a profane ritual. So I think we use gauntlet of abominations and a living briar to halt a profane ritual. He only had 3 turns to reach the defiled altar and stop the summoner Culvin from awakening the black-palmed one. JC had left a clear path of attack, but Robin was sure it was a trap. I see an extra space. Robin fainted with his shield bearers, and JC's Sever Space spell triggered prematurely. Then a wedge of halberdiers blasted through the pigman phalanx. Oh, dope. The mob of monstrosities cracked, and the berserkers charged into the gap. Victory was so close. Now this guy again. Boom. Lock this user. Yeah, I wonder how they like figure out because the block on Restream doesn't actually block them on Twitch. There's no API access between the two. So how I guess by the time they just burn them out there one by one, and by the time that one gets banned, they just like spin up another one. Victory was so close. Unfortunately, Burback Breakbow wasn't with his blood brothers. At the start of Blitz Day, Robin had missed his Death's Door roll by a single pip. Without Burback's bonuses, the Berserkers got bogged down in a unit of formless ones, buffed by a patch of accursed earth. Robin took a final shot with his Hawkmoon, trying to kill at least one cultist and stop JC from getting the special scenario bonus. There was no miracle this time. The shot fell short, and Jeremy leapt to his feet and thrust his hand against. There's no reason for this to be 2 sentences. The shot fell short. Jeremy leapt to his feet and thrust his hand across the table. Gotcha! Good game. Well played, Robin shook his hand. JC's palm was wet with sweat. Robin realized his own fingers were trembling too. This one hurt. It was the most intense game he'd ever played, and his 3rd loss in a row. His stomach was upset from adrenaline and taking aspirin without food. He was pretty sure he'd have to sneak away to barf in a bit. Robin wished he'd just stayed in bed. After Duncan called the match officially, JC cracked open his army case. He'd already bought and painted a Black Palm one. He was that sure he'd win. The faceless corruptor held up a long-fingered hand. A creepy yellow eye winked from its coal-black palm and wept tears of blood. I should have drawn with a Sharpie an eye on my hand for the big reveal there. Jeremy explained how he'd used 2 types of resin to get the yellow and ruby casts. Robin had to admit it looked cool. Even Sandy was impressed. You couldn't kill a single cultist? Bill Wilson scowled at the Black Palm one. For the rest of the campaign, JC's cohort of chaos would be a huge problem for everyone. I tried. Robin held out a hand to his berserkers, so very close to the altar. He was just a few centimeters out of charge range. The dice said no. You see Blinky here? Every time the Black Palm 1 force converts one of your units, you can all say, "Thank you, Martillo," Jeremy crowed. "Thank you, Martillo," Bill and Brian sang. I feel like Brian should be before Bill and Brian sang. Brian and Bill sang. No, that's right. There's some subtle unconscious way that we order things, and it's also conscious, but people have studied it, and I know that we've talked about it on other things. But I think you do Bill and Brian. It might be because alphabetically Bill comes before Brian. But Brian and Bill and Brian. It does seem like Brian would be afterward. Maybe it works better also because Brian just is longer. Brian, 2 syllables, whereas Bill. It was so unfair, but protesting wouldn't help. It would only make the razzing stick. It was so unfair for them to blame Robin. I think so. It was so unfair for them to blame Robin. But protesting wouldn't help. It would only make the razzing stick. Robin held out his palms to the war room and beckoned. Let me have it. A few people snickered. The tension broke, and that was all for the gimmick. Robin knew all about being singled out. Even at their meanest, the Duke crew had nothing on the football kids back in Amarillo. On Maverick Street, everyone was broke, every weakness was attacked, and no one let up. Ever. Boom. There was just one game left. Robin would face against Bill Wilson's Gore Lord Goblin. Robin would face Bill Wilson's Gore Lord Goblins. Poison Ivy blamed Robin, even though Batman didn't. Wow. Deep. Was that the animated series or something else? I don't remember the was it? I didn't really read a lot of Batman comics. I read a lot more Spider-Man's. I think I read the entire run of Spider-Man up until 300 or so, and then there were too many clones and whatever's. But yeah, I have not as familiar with Batman. I think I watched the entire animated series though, because the animated series was surprisingly good. Just the voice acting from Mark Hamill was good. The just the stylization of the animation was good, and actually I recall the music being specifically good there. It's just a really solid series for some reason. It just had no business being as good as it was, based on the context of how cartoons were. That must have been in the 90s. Was a Tick fan. Crushed Carrick's car to make him an ashtray as a gift. Huh. Let me see. Wild. Wait, was the Tick and Clark as in Clark Kent? I don't have the context to figure this out, sadly. Let me see. There's no way I'm going home on a loss, Robin told himself, trying to regain his confidence. Mm. Uno would never let him hear the end of it. If he lost every game, Uno would never let him hear the end of it. After Bill sided with Jeremy, Robin was determined to beat him. Clark Kent's car. Superman couldn't stand him. The Tick was an escaped mental patient superhero who was nigh invulnerable. Wasn't there like a Tick cartoon? Is that separate, or is it supposed to be the same guy? Who is it? There's some YouTuber right now who's like doing everything in his power to kill a single Lone Star Tick. Like he like doused it underwater for like 48 hours and it wouldn't die. And I think he like tried to cryogenically freeze it with liquid nitrogen or something. And the thing is just unstoppable. And I think Lone Star ticks are the one that have that weird protein that makes you unable to digest meat. If I was in Pedo Weapon, I would just be breeding those ticks and releasing them everywhere. Bioweapon. Nematodes work well. Nice. Nice. Alright. If he lost every game, Una would never let him hear the end of it. After Bill sided against him with Jeremy, Robin was determined to beat him. At the end of the second turn, but the dice were against him. He wanted so badly to win, but the dice were against him. At the end of the second turn, Robin was one wound from defeat. The Gorelord were well suited for tunnel fighting. Without Cinnabonathi and Hilg, the Hawkmoon lost their multi-shot bonus. And the Shield Bearers couldn't perform Bulwark of the Ages. Hold on, let me find every instance of Hawkmoons. And let's replace them all. There we go. Okay, and then let's go back to find chapter 31. Cool. And then get back to Blitz Day. Yeah, that was definitely a decision I made at some point to just have Hawkmoon be the plural. Because I think moons sounds dumb. Hawkmoons sounds vaguely racist. Alright. It really doesn't. Rusty Cage doing the Lone Star Tech experiment. Yeah, he was really creepy on his videos too. He definitely seems like the guy that would just like, I think I'll experiment on these ticks. I don't know him, but yeah, I watched like one of the videos and I was suitably creeped out. So well done. He wanted so badly to win, but the dice were against him. At the end of the second turn, Robin was one wound from defeat. The Gorelord's savages were well suited for tunnel fighting. Without Cinnabathi and Hilg, the Hawkmoon lost their multi-shot bonus, and the shield-bearers couldn't perform Bulwark of the Ages. Robin's lieutenant failed his armor save and died to a lowly goblin spearman. Disgraceful. This triggered his grim fate onus. And then that's a colon. If Robin's other leader died, the game was over. Luckily, Robin had all his boons on the veteran sergeant. As long as he survived, it would be all right. With glee, Bill sicked his blood fiends on Robin's veteran sergeant. With glee, Bill sicked his blood fiends on the sergeant. The elite unit mobbed him down to a single wound. Tough luck, kid, Bill held out a hand, although Robin had... Bill held out a hand. Robin hadn't offered to resign. I'm not done, Robin said. You don't think so? Bill smirked. What a jerk. The worst part was he was probably right. Even with his boons, there was almost no chance the sergeant would survive another turn of attacks. There was zero chance Robin would surrender. Not after Bill sided with Jeremy. So we do this twice, and I did not like the, there we go. Much better. Yeah. I looked at that sentence, I was like, something's wrong here. Still, there was zero chance Robin would surrender. Not after Bill sided with Jeremy. He scanned the battlefield carefully, looking for any sliver of hope. Analyzing the position, Robin realized that Bill wasn't... So, for whatever reason, like, I've taken that out. I got some writing advice like, you can always remove the word that, right? Because that doesn't do any work. That just kind of, like, puts space between things. But as you're, like, actually reading through it there, you see that that is necessary in a lot of the cases where I've removed it. Analyzing the position, Robin realized that Bill actually wasn't playing that well. Like, in spoken speech, like, you need that spoken speech. What am I saying there? But in when you're reading aloud, you can see the reason why it exists there. And we want our reading to flow as smoothly as our speaking or narration or whatever. Analyzing the position, Robin realized that Bill actually wasn't playing that well. First, he was ignoring the special scenario rules. In the first turn, he sent his Horoblin sappers into the back tunnels to flank. They failed their role and were lost for the rest of the combat. After that, Bill gave up and didn't commit any more troops, even though the chance to break through improved each turn. A lucky roll could have broken Robin's army, but he didn't see any need to tell Bill that. First turn, comma. All right. Yes, this is true. All right, so yeah, it's harder to find things that are wrong. Am I right? You're at 16, logic. Like, hopefully, like we've improved a lot. It's because there's an additional proofreading pass before we get to this point. Redundant first. No, I need that first there. Yeah. Yeah. On turn 1, he sent his Horoblin sappers into the back tunnels to flank. Yeah, we need the first there because we have a second later in the paragraph there. But it is good to like fix that repetition a little bit there. So let's go ahead and point you up. Ooh, only 2 points remaining. But don't get to where you're like struggling to find edits and so forth. We only want substantive edits. Don't let the lust for victory overcome you. They failed their role. On turn 1, he sent his Harablin sappers into the back tunnels to flank. They failed their role and were lost for the rest of the combat. After that, Bill gave up and didn't commit any more troops. Even though they had it. Even though the chance to break through improved each turn. A lucky roll could have broken Robin's army, but he didn't see any need to tell Bill that. Second, Bill was so eager to get the kill, he didn't activate Disperse on his blood fiends. This was more of a calculated risk. Their damage was huge. If they could survive and get the last wound, it was checkmate. No, I don't like he had the castle there. Robin ignored the rest of the warband and threw everything at the blood fiends. The shield bearers failed, but the Hawkmoon riddled them with arrows. Bill was ready for this, and tried to activate Unslakable Thirst. Thanks to the magic penalty from the dwarves, the spell fizzled. The goblins took a big morale hit from seeing their elite shot to pieces. Next turn, Bill activated Surge and surrounded the sergeant. So we... Let me just make sure that we... Yeah, okay, so we say earlier that he has all his boons in the veteran sergeant, and then we get to learn what the boons are. And let's call him the veteran sergeant here. Bill had given him Unbreakable and Armor of Faith. Armor of Faith let the sergeant save on any fatal wound on a 5 or a 6. Unbreakable meant it took 2 wounds on the same turn to kill him. The bonuses stacked, and the sergeant survived long enough for his halberdiers to save him. Bill grew redder with every failed roll. Tough luck, kid. So this is the kind of stuff, like the like 2 bonuses stacking on top of each other. I had my homie Obsenator was like, for a while, he was like number 2 or 3 in the world StarCraft ladder, even against the Koreans and so forth. And he was just like deep into it, and he loved when he could find like some combination of bonuses or whatever that would let his Protoss or whatever triumph over like a vastly numerically superior army. So this is the kind of stuff where there are certain nerds where they just love this kind of stacking thing. Also, I can tell you, like, this would... is that a dog? Hachi! Hachi! Buddy. Hachi. Hello, long dog. Oh, we've got a visit. We've got a visitor. The long dog of success. Hello. Hachi. Oh, you're our ticket to writing success. Yes, you are. Oh, so sweet. Oh, hello, Snuffler. Hello, Snuggle Bunny. Oh, what a sweetie. All right, are we going to win today? You going to have a good edit? Look at this dog. It's very long. Hello. Hello. All right, amiga. What's going on? How you feeling? Did you get some breakfast? You get to play outside for a little bit this morning? Somebody was too lazy to go on the 5 a.m. walk, right? She was very she was like, I'm going to stay in bed. And then I went out with the golden retriever, and when I came back, she was like, hey, where's my walk? And you had to go in the yard like a bum, because she slept through it. She has no regrets. She's like curled up like, oh, sweetie. It's just chilling in my lap. Yeah, I gotta redo the camera and potentially maybe I'll make like a cozy spot for her to sit under this table over here so she can just chill while we're writing. And then I can pan to the dog cam whenever I want to curse the international bankers or something. Maybe be sure to enable VODs of past broadcasts on Twitch for others to find you and your content offline. Huh, that's not a bad. I wonder if I got that turned off. Let me take a look. Alright, Twitch. Yeah, I think I don't have VODs on. No, I gotta log into this guy. Nah. Alright, I'll do that later. I think that's a good idea. I'll put it on my to-do list. Yeah, I need to log in some browser and make that happen. I probably have it turned off, actually. So that is a good suggestion. Yeah, we'll enable VODs. We're really trying to get into it here. I would love to, earn a little bit more money off of doing this, just because I think I'm gonna lose my day job pretty soon. Okay, I do? Alright, cool. Yeah, I don't have the time to, like, clip stuff, and honestly, there are not that many highlights on this. Like, what I would probably do is just try to incorporate my dogs in some way, shape, or form, and then just have, like, a dog highlight. Hachi, here we go. Cut it out. They're barking at a squirrel. Tough luck, kid. The turn ended, and the defenders held the line against the Gorelord horde. The turn ended. The heartbroken expedition held the line against the Gorelord horde. Victory. Raman was too relieved to celebrate. He closed his eyes and let out a deep breath. Okay, cool. We don't need you. This is complete BS, Bill Wilson fumed. The blitz was through, and Bill had lost every match. Good game, Raffin offered a shake, but Bill scowled at his hand. Robin offered a shake, but Bill scowled at, and then we need a comma. Robin offered a shake, but Bill scowled at his hand like it was covered in dirt. I really like that phrase. Robin waited for Bill to get over it. Robin let his hand drop. It was an unsatisfying way to end the day. He began to pack his army away, a little worried Bill might do something stupid. The tables were too big to flip, but people had tried before. It's just a skirmish. We can do over if you want. I think you missed. Hey, kid, cram it, Bill barked. He looked mad enough to fight. Suddenly, Robin realized Bill was 17 and twice his size. Duncan was already on his way over. Tempers flare. Settle, fellas. How'd the round go? Horrible. Bill shook his fist. I can't actually see horrible. No, that doesn't. Bill was nearly shouting. Who came up with this scenario? It's garbage. Bill's voice raised. Who came up with this scenario? It's garbage. Is that so? Let me take a look. Maybe a rule was misplayed. Robin, did you record the match? Robin already had the diario open. Wait, Robin lost his LT with Grim Fate on turn 1? That's huge. Bill, what are you complaining about? It's rigged. Goblins can't win. Duncan looked over Robin's notation. Did Bill not send any other units to the back tunnels after they first... oh. Yeah, listen. Did Bill not send any other units to the back tunnels after the Horoblins get lost? He did not, Robin confirmed. There's only a 1 in 6 chance they get through. It's just throwing points away. The attacker can't win. The scenario is stupid. Bill crossed his arms over his chest. It's not the scenario that's stupid, Vlad cut in. The back tunnels aren't 1 in 6. They're 1 in 6 plus 1 per turn. The workshop siege is supposed to snowball for the goblins. What? No, it isn't. Duncan tapped on the line. Duncan tapped on the scenario card where it said +1/T. He left a chocolatey fingerprint, but the cards were laminated for that very reason. He wiped it off against his jeans, good as new. That's why I offered you the mulligan, Robin explained. I didn't see that. Why didn't you tell me during the game? Bill scowled at Robin. Why would I help you beat me? Honestly, I thought I was going to lose anyway. You just needed 2 wounds to win. It was a fluke. Robin shrugged. Where have I heard that one before? Jeremy called over. This kid has the most ridiculous luck. Where have I heard that one before? Jeremy called over. This kid... let's call him JC here. It's almost worth it to, wait, said or read? Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good. I'm gonna give you a point. Who can it be now? Oh, I'm just 1 point away from tying up old Agatha. No, the dogs don't agree with me making who can it be now noises. Hachi, Hugo! Oh. Those devil dogs. Mm-hmm. Where have I heard that one before? JC called over. This kid has the most ridiculous luck. They couldn't save him today, though. Chaos reigns supreme. He made the sign of the horns and high-fived Brian. Ooh, this campaign is heating up and I love it. All right, time for an official ruling. Once again, illiteracy keeps the green scourge in check. Read your scenarios, boys. No do-over, Duncan announced. Don't call me stupid, Bill growled at Vlad, just now realizing. What else can you call it? Blood fiends have infiltrate. You wasted them on his buff damage soak like a dope. If you'd hit his backline and cut out his archers, this would have been over in 2 turns. Wait, what was that? Hachi. What's that dog doing? Oh. Hello, puppy. Oh, you want to be petted? What? Up you go, dog. Oh, hello. What do you think about this story? It's the best story ever. You're gonna win a world prize. You're gonna have a pool and a fast car and a cocaine problem. Yeah. Oh. And then I'm gonna eat steak for every meal. And caviar and have like a whole slew of bitches just for myself. What's that? Oh. Hello, Snuglet. Oh. All right, up here. What? All right, you crazy dog. Hey, say hello to the people. What's happening? What's happening, buddy? Oh, you're a sweetie. All right, we love you, Hachi. You're a sweetheart. Yes, hello. Oh, so cool. Oh. Now, there will be no cats in my enchanted castle. I don't want that toxoplasmosis. You know what it is? It's because I had a cat when I was real young and I got run over. And so my feelings were shattered. And so I have not had a cat ever since. I just can't guard my heart. Oh, she's a sweetheart. I love that she just gets bored and runs downstairs to get petted. And she runs upstairs to like lie in her little like hammock. And then she runs downstairs. It's just she's living a good life. What else can you call it? Blood fiends have infiltrate. You wasted them on his buff damaged soak like a dope. If you'd hit his backline and cut out his archers, this would have been over in 2 turns. Robin's eyebrows raised. He hadn't even considered that. Vlad was right. Infiltrators were the reason he always put Sky Metal Scimitar on his Hawkmoon champion. They had no chance in melee without her. If he'd been matched against Vlad, he'd have lost for sure. Don't call me a dope either, lard ass. Bill's hands balled into fists. It was about to get ugly. Both of you settle down right now. Can we please get through one blitz day without me issuing sportsmanship penalties? The next person who disparages another player is forfeiting his next 2 matches. Duncan raised his voice and stared at Vlad. It was weird to hear him being serious. Fine, Bill said. Sorry, he nodded at Robin. De nada. Okay, are we cool? Can we do loot? Sandy asked. To everyone's surprise, he'd won all of his games. Sandy didn't get as distracted during the shorter matches. Yes, we can, Duncan said, grateful for the break. He brought out a trading card box with loot written in sparkly gold letters. Inside were a stack of handmade cards. Everyone gathered around. First, there was a consolation prize. Because he lost all of his matches, Bill got to roll twice. Robin hadn't known about that rule. Robin hadn't known about the rule. He probably would have been better off if he'd just thrown his last match and avoided the tantrum. As he thought about it, he was glad he hadn't. A win was more important. Duncan let Bill go first to cool him off, but the extra roll didn't help. Both of his loot pools were junk. He got a boon that was no good for goblins and a minor artifact. Duncan let Bill go first to cool him off, but the extra roll didn't help. He got a boon that was no good for goblins and a minor artifact. Tough luck, but sympathy for Bill was thin after he'd acted like such an ass. There was better luck elsewhere. Sandy traded his 4 rolls for 1 guaranteed epic. He drew the Entwined Souls pendant, which let him field 2 generals. Vlad and Brian both groaned. The artifact was game-breaking on Chaos, but almost as good on Reavers. Now, comma, now Sandy could combine the Rune King's potent buffs with Ureg's whirlwind aura. This is my ticket out of last place, Sandy cheered. Vlad had also won all of his matches, and likewise, traded his roles for an epic. He hit even bigger than Sandy. With the all-seeing crown, Vlad's warlord could ignore treachery rolls. It was a huge deal. The chief weakness of the goblins was the penalty from infighting between tribes. Now, Vlad could add the best Gorelord and Bitter Tree units to his Blackois horde. No one was happy about it, least of all JC. Oh man, Sandy, you just gave him the campaign. You should have snatched the crown to keep it out of Vlad's hands, Jeremy complained. Entwined Souls is way better for me. If you want a kingmake, win more games, Sandy teased. So kingmake, why did we... Yeah. And I don't know when kingmaking became popularized. So let's take a look. The term became common usage in other contexts, such as board games and modern politics much later. Applications are frequent in... Let's see. Let's check Ngram. King making. Yeah, so it has some popularity. It's basically doubled in popularity from today. Wait, is this a linear scale? So, yes, it is a linear scale. So it's basically around 1970. This is good. And it has a peak in the 70s, probably tied in with politics for the most part. And then the modern usage of board gaming probably peaks around 2011, which is around when board games peaked, actually. And now it's at about the same place, and it's on an upward trajectory. That dog. What are they barking about? I need to go chastise her, or she'll think that she can just bark all day. She's just bored. She wanted to go on the walk. I try to take them and throw the ball for them every day so that I can exhaust them, so they're not just barking at everybody that comes close to the trailer. Let me see. So we're going to have him choose. So this is kind of like a critical thing. Where in the story, they're complaining about him king making, but if he rolled for it, you can't really do that, right? So here we just make this slight choice where he gets to choose from the guaranteed... Hold on, let me go deal with these doggos. I'll be back. Lord have mercy. All right. This is my ticket out of last place, Sandy cheered. Are you serious? Hachi! Sandy. Oh, my. Oh, fucking asshole. Oh, man. Oh. There's $2 that I have to put into the charity jar. All right. 1, 2. All right. It's not my fault. They're barking. So I found that they did not have any water, and that was part of what was agitating them. I had like taken their water bowls to fill them and just left them on the counter. So I don't mind, you know, them barking if they're thirsty. It's good to let me know. If you want a king make, win more games, Cindy teased. He held up his new artifact card next to his grin. He held his new artifact card next to his grin. That's right. Play to make yourself stronger, not your opponent weaker. Let's see what the arcane beasts have wrought. Duncan took his rolls and got 3 5s. Oops. Oh my god. Hold on, I'll be back. Hey! Hey! Those dill dogs are so rowdy. Yeah, man. It's like the wrong time of day for them to be barking at people. Yes, hello. 13012. We're in the middle of editing this chapter. I've been at it for about an hour, and I think we've only gotten through like 2,000 words. I keep distracted, or getting distracted by dogs barking like crazy. This is a, I want to call it like a crossover fantasy and medical drama set at a war game store, or like a hobby store in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1979. That's right. Play to make yourself stronger, not your opponent weaker. Let's see what the arcane beasts have wrought. Duncan took his rolls and got 3 5s. Oops. Duncan held up the card. Vlad's haw broke up the room. Card 5 was a Duke Games coupon for half off any non-clearance unit. Duncan had just won a discount from himself. Haha. Serves you right for fielding that overpowered monstrosity of an army. Wait, did Vlad just call somebody? Oh, yeah, so we... You know what? We can use OP here. Haha, serves you right for fielding that overpowered monstrosity of an army, Vlad laughed. Wait, did Vlad just call somebody OP? Yeah, so this should be not capitals for emphasis. We do italics for emphasis. Robin, write this down in your chronicle. In the year of our Lord, 1979, hypocrisy reached its all-time peak, Sandy teased. So noted. Robin solemnly jotted... Alright, so this is, so noted. Robin solemnly jotted down the goof. Laughter ran around the room. Alright. You know, anyone who wants to trade for a sweet half-off coupon, remember, this campaign's over at the end of the summer. Miniatures are forever, Duncan pitched, waving the coupon. Dream on, Bill shook his head. There were no takers. Robin was the last to roll. He hoped there was something good left in the loot box. The way his luck was going, a half-off coupon was about the best he could hope for. He reached for the dice. Let me roll for you. I'm hot, Sandy urged. All yours. Robin gladly handed them over. Sandy shook up the 10-sided dice and rolled a 0. Oh, wait. Okay, so they're rolling a percentile die, but he rolled 3 times because he won 3 times. Duncan earlier. Sandy shook up the 10-sided dice and rolled 0 and 0, 0. Whoa! A cheer went around the room. $100. Let's see what he's won. Duncan hammed it up like he was hosting The Price is Right. No effing way, Bill mouthed. Card 100 was glossy black. The letters were written in metallic gold marker. The Black Angel's blessing. Damn, Sandy breathed. A legendary. Oh man, I should have taken all my rolls. Congratulations, Robin. That is so good with his army, Vlad breathed. This is beyond rigged. How did Robin get both the Black Angel's blessing and the Shardrake plate? That's insane. One player shouldn't have 2 legendaries, Bill Wilson snapped. How exactly do you think a dice roll we all watched is rigged, Bill? Sandy asked. It wasn't his roll. It was yours. He didn't even roll his own dice. Bill, it's fine. They do it in Vegas all the time, Duncan rolled his eyes. No, it's not. This whole campaign, you've been taking it easy on him because he's a kid and he's sick. That's why he got that broken scenario and the easy layup last week. That's why you let him into the Adventures playtest and the rest of us got snubbed. I'm tired of it. If you're just going to script the whole campaign for your little mascot, I'm not going to play. This is worse than professional wrestling. Dang. Getting in there. Robin was stunned and couldn't speak. He wanted to throw up. The game club was all he had. The war room was silent. Robin was stunned and couldn't speak. He wanted to throw up. The game club was all he had. What is wrong with you? Sandy shouted at Bill. Everyone joined in at once. Sandy yelled at Bill. Everyone joined in at once. The whole club shouted at Bill Wilson like he'd wandered into the wrong team's bleachers. I like that simile a lot there. Very happy with how that one came out. You are such a jackass, Bill. Well, there's a lot of, yeah, maybe that's like kids talk that way back in the day. Because what I want is, you are such a jackass, Bill. But I think that there's 4 or 5 instances of where we have, like, I know, just a little bit up here. We may be overdoing it. Let me just look through and see if some of these italics for emphasis can be... Yeah, let's take out this one. Because I just remember doing this like 4 or 5 times in the chapter. And like if every other line you have emphasis, you have no emphasis. You have an expectation. All right, I think I'm taking out... Oh, there's one. That one makes sense. All right, cool. Yeah, a lot happening in this chapter. But this is a pivotal chapter in terms of so this is happening on Saturday, and then Friday night is where they had the Adventures game. Okay. Cool. You are such a jackass, Bill. And I do need that such there. No one cares if Robin's a kid or he's sick. Or if he's sick. He's a member of the club. He plays by the same rules as you. He deserves the same respect as any other player. Duncan pointed his finger in Bill's face. Bill slapped it aside. BS. You all know I'm right, Bill shot back. Ha! We all know you're the biggest idiot in the club, Vlad wound up. No one here is throwing games and messing up their rank. Robin is just better than you. Robin is better than you. He plays hard and he doesn't snub handshakes or throw a little hissy fit when he loses. If you want to win some games, maybe read the rules and think before you move. Say that to me outside, Blab. Bill raised a fist. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we really do have a lot of this. Duncan clapped a ruler against the table side like a gavel. That's it. No more, Bill. You're suspended for 1 week. Your next 2 matches are forfeit. Fine. I don't care. Screw you guys. I'm never coming back here. Bill stormed out of the war room and the bells on the front door jingled. Bill stormed out of the war room. The bells on the front door jingled as he slammed it behind him. Eyes rolled all over the room. Sorry, Robin sputtered. He pulled his cap ring over his eyes. Don't worry about it at all. No more, Bill. Oh, yeah. No more, Bill versus no more, Bill. Yeah, that's a good catch. No more, Bill. Like, I do kind of like no more, Bill. Because he does just kick him out of the club, essentially. Woo, you just tied up Agatha. You are at 19 edits, Logic. Don't worry about it. This always happens, Vlad said. Every single blitz, Duncan shook his head. Somebody always loses all 4 games and rages. I guess the consolation prize idea is a flop. Wait, really? Robin was surprised. Without fail. 1 year it was Vlad. That we need a comma there. 1 year it was Vlad. Oh, do we need that comma? No, yeah, we do. 1 year it was Vlad. 1 year it was Vlad. Hold on. I'm actually gonna run this through the machine. Machines. They keep... Okay, so it's a short introductory time element. While former grammar rules often say you can drop the comma after short introductory phrases, keeping it in creative writing serves a vital purpose. It forces a dramatic beat. Without the comma, 1 year it was Vlad. The sentence rushes forward. 1 year it was Vlad. All right, yeah. Good Lord. I have no memory of that. Vlad crossed his arms. Oh? Curious how you have 2 forfeits the week after Blitz in the 77 campaign. I was probably sick. Anyway, I still won the campaign. That's all that matters. I didn't trash talk him at all. Why'd he get so mad at me? Robin couldn't understand what had happened. Bill has, some problems. He's an alright guy, usually. He's an alright guy, usually. In 2 weeks, he'll come back and act like nothing happened. All the stuff he said, it's just him spouting off. All the stuff he said. Kind of, well, they're 2 independent clauses. All the stuff he said. No, it's not. They're not independent clauses. Because all the stuff he said running through my head. There. I know the AI is going to say to put in a semicolon because it loves this. Semicolon does not fit here. So I had that right. The commas are right to say. So I thought about this too. All the stuff he said is just him spouting off. But I do like the comma and like the kind of pause in the I like having a beat there. All the stuff he said, it's just him spouting off. No one believes that. No one thinks you're getting special treatment, and no one is taking it easy on you. The war room rumbled with agreement. Touching me would have been the worst mistake of his life, Vlad puffed. I know Aikido. Wait, is Aikido capitalized? Ugh. I don't think it's capitalized. It's not capitalized. It's similar to like judo, karate, and boxing. Okay. The real danger isn't his Aikido, it's his BO, Sandy groaned. Amsler. If you want to climb out of last place, forfeiting 2 matches isn't a great way to start, Duncan warned. I think it is capitalized. You think wrong, buddy. You think wrong. The Google differs. And I know that I looked this up previously too. Everything that we're like running through here, remember that I already did a proofreading pass on this. So it's just like that's why there's so much less of this going on. Is I spent like 6 months rewriting and proofreading this. So ideally, it's sharper on the first pass that we're doing on this edit here. We're still getting a ton of stuff, and I'm finding lots of places where there's much more clarity, like changing up word choice and stuff. Like all the changes that we've made so far today really like enhance the clarity. They cut off some fat and so forth. Like this is a good pass. We're getting like between 5 and 10% quality improvement on this particular pass, and it's one of the reasons why. And in some cases, like the chapters have been improved like 50% or 100% by the online edit. So you know, I'm very happy that we're doing this. But man, the fruit is not as low hanging as it used to be as we get stronger and so forth. I love this, by the way. The real danger isn't his Aikido; it's his BO. Sandy groaned. Amsler, if you want to climb out of last place, forfeiting 2 matches isn't a great way to start. Duncan warned. Whoa! I was only kidding, boss. Your presence is a delight to the nose and eyes, Vladimir. I have $20 right here that says Amsler's still dead last at the end of the campaign. Vlad held up a roll of quarters. There were no takers, not even Sandy. I thought so. Really, though, Bill had one thing right. One player with 2 legendaries is too many. I think there should be a hard limit of 1, Vlad argued. Easy to say when you have none, Sandy shot back. Too much power makes the campaign unbalanced, Vlad said. Oh, so this reminds me of like an issue that we have later on. I treat the pendant of entwined souls as if it is a legendary, when in fact in the game is written as an epic. So that's just like a correction that we need to remember to make. Okay, so this is a note for myself. Hopefully you're there, but okay, and the differentiation between like epic loot and legendary loot and so forth, this really is like much more of a modern thing that came up. But I don't feel bad including it here, and just because it's so like deeply woven into like gaming culture right now. It you know, it's similar to like how every fantasy thing now has like copper pieces and silver pieces and gold pieces and platinum pieces. It's just they've become conventions, and it's weird when you don't use them, right? Like now when you don't use those, you're making like a choice. Too much power makes the campaign unbalanced, Vlad said. Maybe you're right, Vlad. Actually, I just thought up a great fix for that, Duncan brightened. What's that, Vladass? Roll better. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. So, I gotta say, no, I don't want that there. Probably a little hackneyed, if we're being totally honest with ourselves. But at the same time, also tracks pretty good. Like I like the why are you? Oh, that's how it renders a line break or whatever. Fine. Let's take a look here. A lot of pages here. I want to say that this is 3,100 words. So like a lot of long chapters in this particular section. Really, like I worry the most in this book about the pacing at the start of book 2, where we try to take the luxury of like working everything back in again. One that I'm not sure that we have earned, sadly. But you know, it's, oh, I wanted the add chapter that was right there in front of me. Blitz Day. Credits and merits versus cash. Wait, is that netted? Zachel? Let's see. No, I don't think so. Okay, so we have Una Martillo in here. It's good. So this really is like this is a lot of the meat of the idea that this is a story about a game club, and this is a story about, you know, what it's like to be in a group of guys that are like giving each other a hard time and razzing each other, and how there's a group of young men in the 70s where they're like much more well behaved than like they're nerds basically, and so even in these nerd groups there is like dramatic tension within them. There's people getting kicked out of the club, there's like people who don't like each other and so forth. um, but here we have like this kind of like fantasy version of it where it doesn't get too grimy or too into the tales of people being out, but we do show like, you know, kind of some of Bill's jealousy over this, and you know, we hint that he has problems at home and so forth. So, and this is like a dialogue chapter when all is really said and done. Let me take a look. All right. How close was I? Anybody want to gamble on like how many words were in that chapter? I'm saying 3,100 because it seems kind of long, but it could just be like 2,500. Let's see. Ready? All right, I don't see any bets. Wow, 4153. It's a long chapter. All right, that's why I'm ready to stop doing this. So, yeah, we have like these two 4,500 word chapters, and I just, you don't really think about this as you're reading and so forth. But once something is over, I think like 2,500 words is like the sweet spot for a reader. You know, five words we've edited there. Let's see. So we've uploaded 192 pages here. 1,000 people have, or there have been 1,000 views of the story. And then the average person views like 38 pages of it or something like that. Close. Oh, you thought it was 5,000. Yeah, it's not too bad. So 16 people are following the story. 7 people are favoriting it. If you want to do me a huge solid, go ahead and register an account on royalroad.com and click through these pages, give it 5 stars, and write a review saying like, this is dope, can't wait to hear the end of it there. Only do that if it's truly what you have in your heart, though. I'm not looking for shill reviews, but man, you could help me out a lot doing that. Don't forget the VOD. What do I have to do on the VOD? I don't remember. Wait, no, you looked at the VODs and they were there, but I'll take a gander later on. But yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna go back and, you know, some people do go back and like watch these entire things on YouTube for some reason. So they are all posted on YouTube, and I guess this restreams to Kick and so forth, but nobody's watching there. The main thing is like having that category. It's so good. So I do need to update the category. Yeah, so today I'm going to think a little bit. I guess I'll shave. Ugh, and then just try to make like an Instagram reel to get some people interested. And then one of the things I do want to do is make a new kind of like landing page for the project. There were no VODs. Don't forget to enable them and saving content to YouTube too. Ah, okay. All right, so I will enable VODs, which means I have to log into Twitch. I don't remember the password. I mean, I must have it written down somewhere. Oh, yeah, no, I think they made me set some long-ass password. I'm going to have to go through the whole cycle of resetting it and stuff again. And then that invalidates the stream key and blah, 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 blah. I'll figure it out there. But, yeah, they made me set some long-ass... So now people are, like, doing all these passwords that are, like, 15, 16 characters long. I'm so tired. I'm sick of... You know, like, honestly, if you just eliminated the concept of passwords and had, like, some universally, like, agreed upon biometric passkey or whatever, you would eliminate like 99% of IT jobs. And it'd be great. Like they'd all be in the street begging for crumbs of bread. Yeah, really, like the whole IT industry is just about like guarding access from people and yeah, no, you can't install that on your machine. Not an approved application. It's a terrible job. This is about like guarding access and influence and so forth. And I may run like another add-on here for Royal Road just to try to drum up some more interest. Because, like, yeah, we're 30 chapters in, and I think it's a good story. And, you know, we're going to have at least 30 more days of this. So I'd like to pump up the volume. Thank you, Zotchel K, for the ideas on Twitch. Because I'm really just have not been promoting Twitch at all as part of my strategy. But Twitch has like, some, like, new, interesting stuff in terms of, like, access to their API and, like, integrations with games. And like what is it? I know that Streambot has like a lot of ways to run polls and loyalty rewards and all this whatnot. I don't like all of it, but is that the day job you're gonna lose soon? Bro, it's like out of the frying pan and into the fire. I do a lot of stuff on various day jobs and so forth, and there, you always come to the point where like I'm gonna lose this contract. You know better than me about how this all is going. And yeah, there are French people involved. Logic. So, and just I'll tell you, with that industry, every single major company is like looking at their help desk or whatever, and just being like, how many of these people can I cut with Gen AI? They really are like, how many of these low guys can I chop down using Gen AI or whatever? It's so despicable. But that's how it is. And so, yeah, man. Yeah, and like they're not alone. Like think about how many like engineers your company has hired in the last little bit. How many Claude licenses have they rolled out? That's we're headed in a direction that we will all sorely regret, and very soon. But it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. All right, let me let you out of here. Good progress today. I will probably try to do another editing stream later, so maybe we can pump up to, maybe we can edit 10,000 words. No, there's no way. But we can probably get another chapter in today and continue to make progress. I'm happy with where the story's going. I'm a little worried about the pacing of this particular part of the story here, and it may be something where the editor needs to, it'll work itself out. It's going to work itself out in a big-ass war that you and I are going to be having to like either fight in or hide out from, let me tell you. So, but we'll see. All right. Yeah, thank you for your help, Logic and Zachel K. Congratulations, Logic, on tying Agatha back up. Let's diss him in the chat. And